The following IHSA event is proudly presented by Country Companies Insurance and by Pepsi. You are looking at the Carver Center on the campus of Augustana College in Rock Island, Illinois, where tonight we will crown two champions in IHSA dual team wrestling for 1999, both for Class A and Class AA. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Bill Hazen, and welcome to Carver Arena, where we are expecting a full house crowd tonight. It'll be a loud crowd. And part of the reason is that one of the local teams is in the finals. Surprising Moline High School. The Maroons have gone into the finals based on an outstanding performance. Look at their upset of Mount Carmel earlier in the day. A year ago, Mount Carmel was in the finals. Then they defeated Granite City, and now they will face Providence New Lenox, the defending state champion. Let's bring in Dan Cliff to talk about this. Dan, you're a veteran wrestling coach here in Illinois. Moline is quite a story, the Maroons are. Question is, they've expended a lot of energy. Do they have enough to finish the job?
Oh, I think so. In 1996, Coach Todd Rosenthal brought this team all the way through ranked teams and beat them, and finally beat Conant High School for the state championship. I see the same thing happening here, but he's got a very strong team in Providence to go against.
Well, indeed, Dan, and Providence New Lenox brings in an interesting situation, too. They're not only strong, but they have tremendous depth. However, they are nicked. They will not be at full speed tonight.
They've got two members of their squad gone tonight, and but they're very, very strong. They've got 9 state qualifiers, and they're very strong. They've been rated as high as #1 in the nation this year, so they're a very good team.
Dan, in Class A, we are going to be seeing two teams that took different routes to get to the finals. One being Byron, the other being Sandwich High School. Byron had to work like the Dickens just to get here. They had a tremendous match with Oregon. It looks like Sandwich will be the fresher of the two. They didn't have to work as hard. How much of a difference is that going to make tonight?
Well, Sandwich is very strong, and they're wrestling very well right now. Byron beat the returning state champions, Oregon, in the semis, so Byron is going to have a tough time beating Sandwich tonight.
Dan, you have been here. You brought teams here before. Let's talk a little bit about the emotions of it. You can hear the fans revving up behind us. It's going to be a great night. But what does it mean for these young men who are really experiencing a very, very important moment in their lives?
Yeah. They've worked all their lives to get here, and all the marbles are on the table. Whoever wrestles the best is going to be the state champions tonight.
All right, Dan, and we are going to find out just who is going to pick up those marbles that are on the table when we return to the Carver Center in Rock Island. All righty, here we go. A large crowd getting ready for action, and it should be a great night. Bill Hazen back with Dan Cliff. We're going to see some outstanding wrestling here. Great crowd on hand. Nice facility, too, Dan, and so we're going to have a lot of fun. And this area is a hotbed of wrestling anyway, so it's kind of nice to have the tournament here this year.
Oh, we're excited about it here. Augustana has done a great job with it, and the tournament's been really well run.
The 119-pound weight class has been chosen as where this will start. They'll be starting in the 119-pound weight class. Let's take a look at scoring, and why don't you summarize this for us, Dan?
These are the dual meet scorings. When you get a fall, you'll get 6 points as if a forfeit, default, or a disqualification. A technical fall, when you win by 15 points, you'll win 5 points for your team. A major decision, 8 to 14 points, will earn your team 4 points, and a decision will earn your team 3 points.
All right, so we are getting ready to go. We will have both the AA and A finals going simultaneously. So we will pick those up for you. And we'll take a look at the AA finals that are beginning at 119 pounds as we get going here, and a takedown immediately for 2 points.
This is the Class A championship match. Sandwich is out to the lead right off the bat. That's Matt Felk from Sandwich with 2 points for a takedown, and he's wrestling the Byron wrestler here. He wrestles number 19, which would be Adam Stark.
Adam Stark and Matt Delk. So Matt in action against Adam, and here we have it for you. It's like a little cross face there, now trying to...
Now he's trying a 3/4 Nelson right now. Or you're just trying to bend him over. The idea is to get his shoulder blades to the mat for 2 seconds, and then he'd win.
We'll switch over to the AA match, which will be getting underway here, and this is in the 119-pound weight class. New Lennox and
Tony Coulter.
Moline.
Tony Coulter is going against Paul Ogle. Paul Ogle was a state champion this year,
All right.
119 pounds. He had a record of 43-2.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it here. So Ogle for Providence, and he is in the green, and Moline in the maroons here. And they're in a collar tie-up here, trying to get an advantage.
Ogle's made a couple of attempts at a duck under here.
Yep. Watch these wrestlers as they change levels and work effectively, and that's one of the key things of getting an advantage. That time Ogle goes around behind him a little bit. We have had a pin in the A finals to begin this match, and let's watch how it took place. We'll start the second match here, but let's take a look here. Here is the pin.
Matt Delk from Sandwich scores a fall over Adam Stark from Byron. That makes the team score 6-0 Sandwich.
All right. And now we'll go up in class to 125 pounds and see action.
We got Brian Olson from Sandwich, excuse me, and he's going against number 10, Frank LeBay.
Brian Olson against Frank LeBay. LeBay right in at just slightly over 125. So these two wrestlers, and again, a leg shot they're taking with the smaller classes. We'll see a lot more leg shots, a lot of quickness here, Dan.
Well, you'll see a lot more speed in the lower weights and more power in the upper weights.
Yep. Good ground level look here as we have a collar tie-up. And the Sandwich wrestler trying to get underneath a little bit. Couldn't do so effectively.
That was an attempted headlock, but they go out of bounds.
Okay, so they'll start from a neutral position here as they get going again. Sandwich and Byron, one of these teams, will emerge as the state champion. And Sandwich is underway here.
Byron wrestlers just called for stalling.
A single leg shot attempt there, and pretty effectively blocked. If you can't really get the leg fully cleanly, Dan, it's a good idea to not try to push it if you don't have it. Double leg takedown.
Nice double leg.
Yep. The 2 points there awarded. Still on the mat right now. 3 points are not off of the mat, so even though they're partly over the edge, now they do go over the edge. The score holds at 2-0. LeBay and Olson wrestling right now in the 125-pound class. We'll go to AA and pick that one up. We have no score right now, and this is the 119-pound weight class. I say no score, it's 5-0 in favor of Providence New Lennox.
Oh, I go with that half Nelson. He's trying to turn into his back. Looks like he's going to get the job done.
Boy, did you see the excruciating pain there? The challenge of competition so graphically laid out here. So Nelson.
The official is down counting, looking for near fall points.
Yeah, right now with a 5-0 lead. PNL has it in the driver's seat as far as the 119-pound class, and this is a tough matchup for the Maroons right here. They're trying to find something. You're out there by yourself. You can't look for any help from anybody else. You've got to figure out a way out of that mess.
That's the great thing about wrestling. There's no excuses. You can't blame somebody for not blocking for you or they didn't give you the ball. It's you against the other guy.
Speaking of that, we will see from Providence New Lennox, several of their wrestlers are football players who have had outstanding seasons, of course, with PNL's football team.
Possible fall here.
Very close. He got it. He got the ball. So Providence New Lennox picks up all of the marbles at the 119-pound class. And we'll take a look at just exactly how it happened.
He has a half Nelson. He stepped over and hooked the leg, arches back to force the shoulder blades down, and there it is. There's the fall. 16 points for Providence.
A big score for Providence New Lennox as they are off in a very commanding situation here over Moline. at the moment. We'll switch back to the single A finals right now. And we are seeing wrestling in the 125-pound class.
Score is 4-0
in this match at the moment. And trying to get a crossface here. We have Frank LeBay of Byron against Brian Olson of Sandwich. 2 points awarded there.
Olson scored a reversal there. When you change possession, if you're in the bottom and you change control, that's a reversal, 2 points.
So
and
Olson,
that's what he just got.
Brian Olson, pretty good job there as he cuts it to a 4-2 situation.
A 1 point escape.
1 point escape will make it 5-2. And now they'll go back to work, and here's Olson trying to get inside again.
We're at double A.
But that doesn't work out well for him. LeBay is able to get on top of him. They'll get 2 points for a takedown there, making it 7-2. And Olson trying to get over to the far side of the mat and took him off. But Olson will start at the position of disadvantage here. And we'll see whether he tries to stand up or sit out or roll out. I guess those are your 3 options. And this time it was a short sit-out attempt. Let's go back to the double A, where we have a predicament situation here.
Possible fall here.
Yeah,
there's an armbar situation.
Providence New Lenox again in the driver's seat here. Sean Chinsky and Andy Kuffler wrestling at 125 pounds. The Maroons are off to a very tough start. We mentioned in the open how much energy that the Maroons expended in getting this far. They don't look that sharp at the moment. Of course, they're up against great wrestlers, Dan.
Right. Providence has got some outstanding wrestlers at 119 pounds. They had a state champion they're going against. And you have to realize that there's only so far that one team can go with when you're talking about upset after upset.
Yeah. And so Providence New Lenox, if they start piling up some early wins, and this is what happened in their earlier match against Maine West, Dan. It was their lighter weight wrestlers that won it for them. They won convincingly in those classes. And at 125, they're very, very tough. That ends the period.
3-point near fall makes the score 8-0.
Yeah.
We're going to the second period.
So Providence New Lenox in the driver's seat in this 125-pound match. And they'll deliberately let him up here. Of course, that's 1 extra point for 9. And really, right now, what the Maroons need is they need some scoring. They need to get some leg shots and start tilting people, get some back points, the whole stick. When you're down 9-0, you need to hit some home runs out there.
That's right. He needs to look at throwing him.
Yeah, indeed. And that isn't easy to do. You can see the predicament right now with Providence convincingly on top here, 9-0. Well, they go ahead and set up from the neutral position. Leg dive, got one leg out of it.
He got a single leg, and he's reaching across ankle there. Pulled him over onto his hip. He's about to score a takedown. There it is.
There it is, 2 more points, 11-0. We're reaching the point where a technical fall could be certainly not out of the question by a long shot here. And Providence New Lenox already has the lead. Look at him charge that front end. Boy, he's really working it.
That's a half Nelson. It's a Mills series after Gene Mills, an Olympic champion. And he's running it very effectively. The Moline wrestler is trying to counter it.
Well, there's no doubt Providence New Lenox to this point in this match, their wrestlers have been taking the fight. They have been the aggressors. When you're the aggressor, it's easier to score points than trying to counter. And the Maroons have been in a situation where they've had to counter wrestle almost from the beginning of this game.
Well, Providence is coming after them. There's no doubt about that. They want to win this championship.
Yeah, they want to win it, even wrestling shorthanded. They want to prove that they are the cream of the crop in Double A. And again, a little bit more riding here. Providence, what would they be in other than green and white? They're known as the Celtics. So you know they're going to be green and white. The Maroons are so pleased about being here, and they have great fan support here tonight. But to the moment, they found the going very tough. Now, when we switch to the single A, we will see a tie match.
Third period with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, so we have a tight one right here. Sandwich and Byron. Tried a leg shot.
Brian Olson from Sandwich in on a fireman's carry attempt.
Yep, didn't get the leg, couldn't do it.
Byron spun around him.
And a good throw there. 2 points for a takedown. And so the lead to Byron.
And there's a reversal right there. Tie it back up again.
How about that? What a match. 5 seconds to go.
Sandwich wrestler needs to ride him out.
And that's it.
Now they'll go into a sudden death. 2-minute sudden death period. The first wrestler to score a point is the winner here.
Oh boy. You can't have any more pressure than this.
That's Coach Lon Garish from Sandwich.
And very aggressive effort there by Sandwich, by Olson, trying to get underneath. Over the side.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds indeed. They'll go back. Do you change your wrestling strategy a little bit here, Dan, when all of the marbles could be on a single move?
You got to make sure the shots that you take count. You can't give one up in an overtime.
Now what do? He tilts him over. Reversal.
Nope. There's no points yet. He hasn't got control.
Sorry about that.
Now he's just going to freeze him up right now, hoping for a stalemate, but he's coming around. Looks like he may score a takedown.
He got it. They awarded the takedown, Dan. And Sandwich is victorious as Olson, Brian Olson, comes out a winner. That was a heck of a match. Now 54 seconds in the AA. New Lenox and Moline, and Providence New Lenox dominating this at 14-0.
Noah Lee from Providence.
Oh boy, he is a load, I can tell you that right now. Tremendous wrestler. 31 seconds to go at 125 pounds. Providence New Lenox in the driver's seat here. Any advantage to getting a technical fall? You get an extra point, I guess, don't you?
You get 5 team points as opposed to a regular decision is 3.
Okay.
So it's very important.
So he'd like to get it if he got the fall. He got the fall instead. How about that? Noah Lee at 125 pounds. That was a heck of an effort. He wins it. We will be coming back here to the Carver Center for more wrestling action. Stay tuned. All right, we open up in AA action as we return here. Bill Hazen back with Dan Plitt. We hope you're enjoying some of the great technique that we have seen already, especially in these lighter classes where quickness is such a big factor in what we see. We're going to go into the 130-pound class now. And a good leg shot by Providence New Lenox, blocked by a front headlock immediately. So here we go. We're in the first period of this one.
Single leg attempt by Providence.
All right, they'll go ahead and go back in the neutral position. There is no score. We are just underway. It's Mike Merlo, and I didn't catch the other wrestler, Brant Kruger. Brant Kruger. So it's Kruger and Merlo. We'll keep an eye on them here. Mike Merlo. It looks like in the early stages that Merlo for New Lenox has been a little bit more of the aggressor. And just as I say that, Dan, he's after a leg again.
He's taking a single again.
Didn't really get it.
Moline's blocking pretty good.
That's Kruger, Brant Kruger. Boy, and a little bit more pressure on Brant Kruger now because he knows his team is down. He really needs to wrestle an excellent match and come away with some points if he can.
Well, Moline needs to start scoring some points, but they also need to get some momentum going their way.
Indeed. Look at a good example there, the changing levels. We talk about levels as being a key to control in wrestling, the ability to move. Here's two wrestlers that are changing levels constantly, it seems like.
Well, they got good stance and they change level well. You can see they're popping ahead, trying to make adjustments so they can fake him out and get to his legs.
We'll go ahead and switch over to the single A now. And Sandwich and Byron.
That's Alex Dewey going against Jeff Boyer.
All right. Boyer for Byron against Austin Dewey. And this is in the 130-pound category. And Byron in the position of advantage here a little bit. Boyer.
Potentially dangerous call there by the official.
All right.
Make sure that wrestlers don't get hurt.
2-1 is the score in this match. And Byron with a position of advantage. Boyer trying to ride out a little bit here. He control that leg if he can.
Dewey trying to get a reversal here. They go out of bounds. Official calls out of bounds.
Yeah, no points awarded.
No, there was no reversal. It was a good call by the official.
So Dewey will be in the down position once again, and let's see how he tries to get out. Tried to stand up, and Boyer snapped him right back down.
Boyer's riding the wrist there.
These are two very good wrestlers at 130 pounds, Boyer and Dewey. They have been outstanding. And a tight match. This one wrestled pretty close to the vest, but when you're tied up like this, that first fall is so important. That first offensive surge can really say so much about the whole aspect of the match.
All right, well, 90% of the wrestlers that score the first takedown win the matches. So it's very, very important to get a takedown.
How about that? And again, Boyer pressing the attack. He isn't giving Dewey any room to breathe. Dewey tries to stand up. The battle for hand control there, he can't get away.
Dewey attempting a switch from the bottom. Boyer's just hanging on the wrist.
Yeah, we may have a reversal here. We're coming down near the end of the first period, or second period, rather.
He's asking for assistance. The official's asking for assistance.
Let's see.
One escape, lost of control. They're neutral.
Okay, so it'll be a 2-2 tie as Dewey was able to get out of it. And so it'll be Boyer in the down position this time.
Dewey's taking a second to tie his shoelaces there.
Yeah, not a bad idea, I would say, in this sport. That's for sure.
Officials asking him to take his position.
All right.
And they start.
Boyer tries to stand up. Dewey blocks it. And now he's going to ride. The guy in the position of disadvantage, Dan, has to carry all of the weight.
Right, he's on the bottom, but he has the possibility of scoring points to get away. And he just scored a reversal just now for 2 points.
Joe goes ahead 4-2. So Boyer able to work effectively here. Drags Dewey back down to the mat. Looks like Boyer's a pretty good mat wrestler, isn't he?
Yeah, he does a nice job on the wrist. Sometimes you get the wrist tight like that and you just can't get away.
And now you can see him also working, trying to get some action going on the leg side as well. Let's go to the AA. And this is in the 130-pound class.
Scores 4-0 Providence.
Yeah, that's in favor of Mike Merlo over Grant Kruger. And it's Kruger trying to get to a position where he can score some points here. But these two are pretty well locked up like a couple of pretzels right at the moment.
The Providence wrestler shot in on a fireman's and Moline stopped him, has an underhook. They just called it.
All right, so Kruger and Merlo. And Kruger will be in the down position. Merlo will be on top of him here. And once again, we're looking at a situation with Providence New Lenox in the driver's seat again in those lower weights. Their lightweight wrestlers are spectacular. There's absolutely no question about it.
They're tough.
They've got great wrestlers in those low weight classes.
Well, I kind of differ. They've got some great wrestlers across the board.
Well, they do. But boy, we saw earlier what difference they made in terms of getting to the finals. Those lightweight wrestlers running for them. We're single A, and we're coming to the end of this match. And it ends up 9-2 in favor of Byron's Jeff Boyer, who wins it. Boyer is the winner, and so Byron gets the points out of it. And after 3 matches, you can see that Sandwich has the lead at 9-3. After 3 matches, we'll rejoin the AA. Kruger and Merlo going at it. And Well, you talk about the depth of Providence. When you get into the ring, the circle with them, you know that you're in for a real big workout.
Well, they don't have any weak points.
Yeah. I'll tell you who tested them early was Willowbrook. Willowbrook gave them a whale of a battle, and it was their heavyweight wrestler, the Providence New Lenox heavyweight wrestler, who kept them in there and got them there. Otherwise, Providence New Lenox might have been upset earlier.
Providence only lost on the years to nationally ranked St. Edwards out of Ohio, so they went to Ohio and lost there.
It's a terrific team. There's no doubt about it. They have some tremendous personnel, great wrestling skills, and you've got to give them all the credit in the world for what they have accomplished. They've been outstanding, no question about it. A 4-2 match in favor of Providence. And head coach Keith Healy has done a spectacular job with the Celtics again this year.
And he does a great job. He's a University of Illinois graduate, wrestled 4 years there for Illinois.
And I'll tell you, he's getting some help from the football program at Providence New Lenox. He had 3 or 4 outstanding wrestlers right from their football squad. Down to 15 seconds. They're still technically on the mat, Dan.
And 2 points. Scored 2. If his feet are in bounds, he scored a 2 takedown.
Well, they did indeed. And that means that Kruger has gone into the lead. 5-4. What a dramatic turn of events.
Well, there's 10 seconds to go in the match. Scores 5-4.
And for Merlo, he's got to get out of it. But Kruger has that ankle. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
Now
Moline
Moline's on the board. That's what we just talked about earlier. Moline needed to get on the board and start getting some momentum going.
Well, you are so right. And look at the emotion of Kruger. He knew how vital it was for his team. He knew we really needed this. He was thinking, and the Maroons have it. They needed to score against the real tough green of Providence New Lenox. Now Providence ahead 12-3, but the Maroons are on the board. Let's go to single A now, where we are watching Sandwich and Byron. One of these teams will emerge as the state champion. We do have a little bit of blood drawn here, I think, Dan.
Well, when you get buttoned, you get your head buttoned in there a little bit.
Yes.
Sometimes you get a little blood in the nose, and you got to clean it up.
This is in the 135 class. We're also in the 135-pound class in Double A. We'll return to the Single A in just a little bit. Joel Couture for Moline for the Maroons. And
Ryan Glenn.
Yeah, Ryan Glenn, who is wrestling.
That can't be right.
No, all right. You're not sure who the other wrestler is.
This is Ryan Cumby.
You think so? Ryan Cumby. Cumby and Couture in action. Cumby, an excellent wrestler. Now the proverbial battle for control, for match control. We're about a minute old, and there is no score in the match, in this particular match.
Ryan Cumby is an excellent wrestler, state champion this year, 41-0. In 1998, he was 4th in the state at 125, and in 1997, he was 3rd at 112.
So it's Couture and Cumby here. So Couture has his hands full. And for Couture, as much as anything, if he can't win the match, he wants to keep it at the very least as close as possible.
Exactly.
That's his first goal. Win it if you can, but whatever you do, you don't want to get pounded in one of these things where your team is really deep in the hole.
Right. If you're going against an outstanding wrestler and you just lose 3 team points as opposed to getting pinned and lose 6, that's a big difference. Could be the difference in the meet.
You've done a good night's work. That's the thing that heroes have made up. Look at this. A double leg takedown by Couture.
He just took the state champion down.
Wow. That was a great move. And the post and drive, just outstanding, just drove right through and took him.
It's a great double leg, and he drove right through it.
And we are at the end of this period. What a move by Couture. We will be pausing. Great wrestling action coming your way from Rock Island. Stay tuned. All right, we are back to the action here in the 135-pound class. And we have had an escape and an issuing of an extra point, it looked like here, Dan.
Right, Ryan Cumbie let the Moline wrestler go. So they scored 1 point escape, and he decided to go to his feet.
Okay, so it's 3-1 right now. Boy, Couture really surprised Cumbie with that double leg attack.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful move. And Cumbie, now he knows he's in a match, and you can see he's well focused now. There's no question. Yeah. He wants Couture.
Couture just almost scored another takedown, but Cumbie countered it. Now they're in a front headlock situation.
55 seconds remaining in the second period.
Right,
Dan.
it's only the second period. We're only halfway through the match now, so there's a lot of time left in this match.
Cumbie is in green, the maroon, Tony Couture. Boy, these two guys are really wrestling their hearts out. After all, it's all in the marbles. And what we're talking about is team performance, the depth of team performance. And we certainly know Providence New Lenox has great, great depth. And Moline has shown so much heart to get here, depth of heart and spirit that they're showing tonight. Couture.
You can see Coach Rosenthal in the background there trying to get his wrestler to circle.
Get into motion.
Right, get him to circle and stay in the center. They're trying to force the Providence wrestler to come after him.
3-1 in favor of Couture. And that's the end of the second period. We have a heck of a match here in Double-A. And Couture has given Ryan Cumbie everything that he wants. We'll be coming back to that. 25 seconds remaining in the Single-A match here at the 135-pound weight class. This is third period action, 12-2 in favor of Byron, I believe, here. Well out on top in this one. And some riding going on here.
Sandwich wrestler's on top.
So he is, and with that, this match comes to a conclusion here, and some more points.
Team score is 13-3 now in favor of Sandwich.
Sandwich, yeah, Sandwich wins it. At 135 pounds, that's a good victory for Sandwich. Now we'll go back and we have a take in the Double-A. We have a takedown by Cumbie now.
Cumbie scored an escape earlier before we came back. And now he's taking his wrestler down, and now he's winning 4-3.
Over Tony Couture. And Couture thinking hard, what do I do to get out of this? And they'll go to the center.
Cumbie's an experienced wrestler. He was on the junior national team this summer.
Minute 3, Couture now has to find a way not only to get free, Dan. He's got to get free definitely. That'll give him the point to tie it. But then he needs to generate some offense. His team is behind. That time Cumbie grabbed the ankle and that blocked his attempt to stand up. Cumbie and Couture. Cumbie, as we mentioned from the top when this began, an outstanding wrestler.
There he goes with that Mills series again. That half Nelson is trying to turn Moline to his back.
42 seconds left. And Couture is 1 point down. He's in the wrong spot. He must get an escape at the very least.
He's got 34 seconds to get away.
And so now he's trying to get, he's got a reasonable base to work from there. He's not tilted anyway. He'll try to stand up, but Cumbie's fighting him for all he's worth here.
Well, there's going to be some back points here. Cumbie's not giving up. He wants more than just a decision.
Yeah, and he gets, yeah, he's driving him very, very hard here. Trying to go for the back points. 5 seconds remaining. Couture gave it all he had, and Cumbie defeated him by a score of 7-3 when the back points were awarded. Right. He was awarded 3 back points.
So he did his job. He did his job. He gave up 3 team points as opposed to 6.
And Couture showed us tremendous heart. So Providence, New Lenox, right now is in the driver's seat, and Moline is in the storm seat. They've got to figure out a way to get back in it. We'll alternate over to Single A. That was a heck of a match. Really enjoyed seeing that one. We're in the 140-pound weight class now. And look at the expression, Dan, on that wrestler's face for Byron.
He's just pulling the leg into him. He's trying to do what they call, he's trying to hook a Splato up. play to where he hooks both legs up and moves the Sandwich wrestler to his back. Sandwich is hanging onto that far leg trying to prevent that.
Yep, 13-3 in favor of Sandwich right now. 5 seconds remaining in this, the first period of this match. So,
score is 2-0. Jeff Little is losing from Byron. He's wrestling Matt Belk from Sandwich. Belk is on the bottom.
140-pound class here. A sit out there attempted by Sandwich and very well performed, but he couldn't quite get free. 1:52 remaining here in the second period. For Moline, it is Phil DeCoster, and he is wrestling against Luke Roberts. DeCoster and Roberts. Roberts for new, that's in our AA match right now, I'm sorry. DeCoster and Roberts. So here's a good look at AA here. DeCoster and Roberts. Roberts for Providence, and right now Roberts is in a position probably wrestling with a little bit less pressure on him.
Please bear with us as we don't know who the wrestler is until they report to the table. The coaches make the decisions as they go.
Yeah,
who's going to wrestle, so we have to wait till they report in to find out who it is.
Indeed. This is in the 140-pound weight class. Providence and Moline High School. Providence in the driver's seat right now. 19 seconds remaining here in the period, the first period here. No advantage. We have no score here. And a good leg shot there by Roberts. Will he get points? No. So we'll end this first period with no score. We will be returning for more mat action. Stay tuned as we come to you from Rock Island. Alrighty, another IHSA state champion will be crowned tonight as the boys Class A finalists hit the hardwood at Carver Arena in Peoria. Fox Sports Chicago's March Madness coverage continues live at 6:30 with the third place game followed by the championship game at 8:30. Fox Sports Chicago is the official home of Illinois High School State Championship coverage. Well, we return to action here. We are taking a look at the beginning of the third period in single A. Byron and Sandwich. Sandwich in red, Byron in green. So
we got Josh Stahl from Sandwich. And he's wrestling Jeff Little from Byron.
Okay.
Stahl in on a double leg. Takes him down for 2 points.
Okay, Jeff Little and Stahl in action here. Right now, those 2 points awarded Sandwich on top in this one by a score of 5-2. And certainly, right now, Stahl wants to keep it right where it is. He'd be very happy to ride it out, get some additional points if he can. But above all, he doesn't want to sacrifice anything or lose control.
Right, he wants the 3 team points is what he wants.
There you go. Kind of working that back leg a little bit.
He's just kind of hanging on the wrist basically here, looking if a possible crater were to open up, but it's not. They just stalling call. Against
Little of Byron. And so Stahl will be in the position of advantage. Little needs to get out of this in a hurry. Looked like he was trying to short sit.
He just did a roll through.
Yeah, indeed.
He's got 2 points reversal and he's getting back points.
How about that? How quickly all of this can change.
Now one escape, it should be tied. 6-6.
6 apiece between Stahl for Sandwich and Little for Byron.
There's 50 seconds to go in the match. Score is tied 6-6.
Okay. And there should be at a neutral position here, or yeah, neutral position as we begin. 50 seconds remaining. Collar tie-up two wrestlers trying to find an effective way to move. It's tough to get much done from that position. Well, you see that so often in this sport. Again, a collar tie-up.
Attempted by the Byron wrestler. Take a shot. Now we got a front headlock by Sandwich.
Yeah, by Stahl. Front headlock. And they're tossed out of bounds. No control established, no points awarded.
Byron tried to drag the Sandwich wrestler by to try to score a takedown, but they went out of bounds.
20 seconds left in the match. Shot there by Stahl. And he's turned by Little. Threw him over.
Attempted lateral drop to headlock. Still trying to get it. Oh!
Boy, what a battle for control.
5 takedown.
And it came at a crucial time. 2 seconds, 1 second. That's it. Stahl got the 2 points when he had to have it.
Final score 8-6.
And Jeff Little, who fought hard in this match, and it has to be an emotional thing to lose it. Stahl wins.
He was very close to that headlock. If his hips turned over.
Let's take a look. Literally, this could be a game of seconds. And here's a look at it.
You'll see as they come out of this, the headlock, he could easily got the takedown. He came out, now all of a sudden a double leg, and boom, he's in bounds and scores a takedown.
There you have it.
Could have went either way for either wrestler.
Yes, indeed. Sandwich on top now, 16-3 in the team score. There's a good look at it. And did you see the expression on Jeff Little's face there at the end? And that tells an awful lot. We are in the third period with 30 seconds remaining in the match between Brent DeCaster of Moline and Nick Roberts of Providence New Lenox. And we are tied at 1-1. Neither wrestler has control here. But right now, DeCaster is trying to get control. He gets around to the side. They awarded the points.
2-point takedown.
And DeCaster, with a great move there, is able to score the points, literally. Well, we got some point scoring right in the last closing seconds here, Dan.
You got to wrestle all 6 minutes here.
Oh, my goodness. And that makes it a 15-6 match lead for Providence New Lenox. That's Moline's second victory. And it comes at 140 pounds. We'll move to 145. Let's see how they score. Brent DeCaster.
He just spun around and scored 2 points on an attempted shot. Just countered it and spun around for 2 points at the last seconds.
We will pause here with more wrestling action coming up in the AMAA Finals from Rock Island. All right, the Chicago Sun-Times is the official newspaper of the IHSA State Championships. Remember to pick up your Chicago Sun-Times for complete coverage of Illinois high school sports. Phil Hazen back with Dan Cliff, welcoming you to our coverage of the IHSA Single A and Double A Finals. We have a great crowd here tonight, and we are going to be watching now the Class Single A 145-pound match. To the moment, Sandwich has had the better of it in this dual team meet with Byron.
We've got Byron's Rob Irving is going against Ryan Hartman from Sandwich. Hartman's winning the match 2-0 right now and is in control on top.
Okay. So Hartman in the position of advantage, and Irving thinking, boy, it is lonely out here. Right?
You can see the official talking to the wrestlers, trying to get some action going. We got an attempted cradle by Hartman here, and he's scoring back points with it.
Yeah, I would think so. And right now, Irving is in a world of hurt, in a tough spot. Oh, and Hartman really has that leg tied up.
3-point near fall. It actually doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, except for the pride department, right, Dan?
That's right.
55 seconds remaining in the second period. Yeah, other than your pride, there are no problems with any hurt here. But I'll tell you what, every wrestler who competes at this level can be very, very proud of what they've done. We're seeing so much heart out there, Dan, tonight. It's a great thing. Every one of these guys has a story.
Right. This is a very disciplined sport. It's a difficult sport. A lot of times you don't get the accolades that the basketball and the footballs do.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of effort and discipline.
Well, that's why it's so great to have the opportunity to be here and to share this with fans of sports generally all over the state. You're seeing some of the best technique that you'll see at the high school level, and it's really a joy to see it.
The official just called a stalemate, meant that there no action could happen. They weren't progressing. So he was going to stop the match and restart it, get some action going.
Hartman in the position of advantage here against Rob Irving, and Irving tried to stand up, trying to get hand control here. But that's easier said than done against a very determined opponent. Oh, look at this.
He's dropping down to a double leg to attempt to stop his stand-up. Out of bounds they go.
Well, a stand-up is the easiest way out, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Nothing in this sport is easy. 10 seconds left. And barring a major turnaround of some kind, Byron is going to surrender this match to Sandwich, as well as Hartman's going to ride it out here. And before any reversal could be performed or even attempted, this match has come to a conclusion. Or no, it's the second period, excuse me. One more period.
Third period right now.
You are right. And we'll switch to double A, where Mundo Boyer of Moline is battling Brian Glynn of New Lenox. And right now, Glynn has a 4-1 lead. Dan, we are in the second period of this one.
And he's about to score another takedown right now. He came in on a single, and now he covered his hips and scores 2 takedowns.
Ladies and gentlemen, only a wrestling coach could tell you that he's going to get a takedown when we all think that they look like pretzels out there. But you can tell. You can tell, Dan, who's got the advantage.
Well, now he's running a mill series. He had a single leg, and he reached across, got the other ankle, and crawled up the leg, and he was able to score the 2. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, and so it is a 6-1 lead for Brian Glynn in his match with Boyer. This is at 145 pounds. And remember, Providence New Lenox already with a considerable lead. So Boyer, I'm sure that his coaching staff would like him to pull out a rather dramatic change of events here.
He's going to let him go and wrestle on his feet.
So that makes it now 7-1. Well, Glynn is quite tall, isn't he? Used to be, it was thought that if you had size, that you had a lot of height, that you were kind of at a disadvantage, but I don't know that anybody thinks that anymore. We've seen some awfully good wrestlers who are fairly tall in this sport.
Right, you get long arms, you can reach in, ankle pick, things like that.
You know, we always think of the classic wrestlers being the guy with what we refer to as the low center of gravity. Really hard to move, hard to grab, hard to reach in. But here are some guys who are lankier, and boy, they can move.
There's his double leg attempt, takes him down for 2.
That makes it 9-1. Providence New Lenox has really come out here. And we'll go to the single A conclusion of this match. Irving, 16 seconds to go, an 8-3 lead. And Irving for Byron here trying to work some magic here in the closing seconds of the 145-pound class.
8 seconds to go.
Yeah. See what he'll do. Commanding lead in this one. And an escape as the match ends. And so Sandwich gets some additional points here. Now goes out on top, 19-3. 2 very dominating performances here. That in Class A. Back to Double A. Boyer and Glynn with 36 seconds remaining in this match. And you can see Providence that Glynn has had the better of it. And that's pretty clear. Almost all of this match, Glynn has been taking the attack to Boyer.
He's got 11-2 lead, which means he's going to get an extra bonus point. It means he'll score 4 points for his team if the score stays the same.
And that can be very important. Down to 10 seconds. Glynn isn't going to surrender anything. Boyer is in a very, very tough spot, shall we say. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and Boyer is able to break free, gets a point back, but it'll finish at 11-3.
Yeah, that's enough for the bonus point.
So the bonus point is awarded to Providence New Lenox, who continues to lead at AA. You are watching the IHSA Class A and AA dual wrestling team finals. We will be returning here to Rock Island in just a few moments. We'll take a moment to remind you that the broadcast rights for this championship event have been granted to Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television by the Illinois High School Association. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Fox Sports Chicago, Intersport Television, and the IHSA is strictly prohibited. All right, Bill Hazen, back with Dan Cliff, and we are watching the AA finals here. 152-pound class. Is it Wade B?
You got single A right here. You got Ben Hay, a two-time state champion here, riding out the Byron wrestler.
Okay, Ben Hay.
And Andy Salo.
Boy, and he made the tough draw, didn't he? Aaron Salo. And Salo is in a tough position. Is it Andy? I guess there are two of them. Andy Salo, indeed. Two of them. Well, I'm sure Andy would trade with Aaron in a moment on this one, I think. How about you get out here and wrestle this guy? We know that Hay is a tremendous wrestler.
Hay comes from a big wrestling family. His brother was a state champion as well.
Wade Beachy against Nathan Lynn in AA. Moline and Providence New Lenox. And a good shot there by Beachy, but they ran out of real estate. So we'll go back to the center and start again. Beachy, Lynn trying to lift him. Did he get points?
No, not yet.
Nope.
Providence wrestler countered with what they call a whizzer. He hooks his arm, and he was able to prevent control as they went out of bounds.
So Beachy and Lynn here. No advantage, 2-1 in favor of Beachy, or in favor of Lynn, excuse me, at the moment. Nathan Lynn. This is a big match for the Maroons. They need this if they can get it. Need every point they can get right now because the Celtics have really drawn the line in the sand. They look awfully good tonight.
A warning stalling against the Moline wrestler.
Okay. No points involved, but the next one would be, correct?
Correct. The next one will be 1 point.
Okay.
The rules in wrestling just dictate that you have to wrestle in the middle, and they want to see action, see aggressive wrestling.
So Lynn lost his balance a little bit, and that's all Beachy needed. Over the side they went, no points awarded.
Providence wrestler's foot landed out of bounds as they went out of bounds, sort of like in football when you catch the ball. He was out of bounds, and that's the reason why they didn't give any takedown.
Yes, sir. 4 seconds remaining here in the first period of this match, and it comes to a conclusion with Wade Beachy of Providence New Lenox trailing Nathan Lynn of the Maroons 2-1. We'll go ahead and switch to the single A, where Ben Hay of Sandwich is in action against Andy Salo, and right now Hay has a 5-0 lead. Sandwich is continuing to pile up the points right here. And right now Byron must feel as if they're in the middle of a sandwich, if you will, because I'll tell you, they are really getting a real workout by these great sandwich wrestlers. The Sandwich Indians.
Lon Garish has done a great job.
Boy, has he.
If they win the state this year, it'll be their 3rd state championship in the 90s.
Unbelievable. Tremendous performance. Ben Hay looking for an angle to go at Andy Salo here. Down to 8 seconds. Second period action. Salo trying to stand up and trying to reverse the situation here. And under and over there. We'll flip back to the AA match.
He gave one escape.
So that makes that 5-1 as we switch back to Beachy and Lynn in action. Providence, New Lenox, and Moline. And now we have New Lenox with a 4-2 lead as Beachy, you can see right here, in the position of advantage. now Lynn has to carry that additional weight.
Beachy's got the legs in, and he's running a power half series right now. He's going to score back points with it. See the official counting.
He's got him on tilt.
For the Gross, he's about to call a foul. He's pretty close.
Oh my. Tough spot to be in. Yep. And Lynn fought his way out of it.
And back over he goes.
Indeed. He's going to have to bridge here. So Lynn.
There's the fall.
And there it is. At 59 seconds. Great effort as Beachy gets the pin.
It's a fall in 3 minutes and 1 second in the match and scores 6 points for a team.
Man, oh man.
A great turn, ran that Mill series half Nelson, took him to his back. Lynn fought his way off and took him back over, and they'll score the foul.
And of course, there were already points awarded that would have been awarded there because he had his shoulders within 4 inches of the mat. So the fall awarded, 6 points are issued there. Let's go back to single A where we have Ben Hay and Andy Salo at 152. It is a 5-2. 5-2 in favor of Sandwich right now as the Indians continue to pile up the points here. And right now, Salo needs to hit on a big one with 45 seconds remaining. And once again, Hay going around the back. You talk about turning the corner and how important it can be as a concept in wrestling, Dan. Turning the corner, the quick wrestlers can always seem to get there somehow.
Well, there's a technique to it, but you have to turn around, try to get around the wrestler. The other wrestler, when you got a double leg or you're trying to take him down or whatever, and turning the corner is just getting around so you can get around him.
7-3, an escape point awarded there. But Ben Hay has been in control against Salo most of the match. Collar tie-up. Off the mat.
On their feet, Hay just keeps coming at you. Keep pushing in on inside with inside position.
The way he does. Salo's trying to go over the top a little.
To try to counter with his plate, but Hay would have nothing to do with that.
And that is the end of the second or third. It's the third period, so that match comes to a conclusion. And 3 more points for Sandwich, now moving into a very, very good position with a 22-3 lead in the match. And we will pause. Hope you're enjoying the best wrestling in the state of Illinois coming your way from Rock Island. It's the IHSA Finals, and we're returning for more in a moment. Well, for the most complete coverage of IHSA sports action, tune in every week to IHSA Sportsnet. Host Tom Waddle brings you all of the highlights and recaps all of the biggest plays, too. IHSA Sportsnet, the official weekly highlight show of the IHSA. It can be seen this Sunday at 11 a.m. right here, as always, on Fox Sports Chicago.
Here we are at 160 pounds for Providence and Moline. For Providence, Nick Pasolano, and for Moline, Mundo Boyer. The score is 1-0 for Pasolano.
All right, so it's Pasolano and Boyer. Pasolano is a football player on the PNL football squad. I certainly remember his name from the prep football action during the year. Terrific player, and as you can see, he's a very fine all-around athlete. Football players often make very good wrestlers, Dan.
Wrestlers make good football players as well.
Yeah.
My years of coaching football, I always found that my best defensive backfield was wrestling. Was wrestlers.
Pasolano may have taken a hard fall here, and so he will be attended to. Let's see how it happened there.
He took a shot, got countered. He's backing out of the circle. I think he is already hurt. I think he stretched himself when the Moline wrestler countered his shot.
We'll go ahead and pick up the single A action now. As we are waiting, we know that Sandwich is very much in control as far as this match, as far as the total match score is concerned. We are in the first period. We're watching the 160-pounders in action.
Blake Johnson from Sandwich is wrestling Paul Sloan from Byron. Sloan in on a double leg. And it's countered by Johnson.
These are two well-matched wrestlers here. And 12 seconds.
Johnson, excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's all right, go right ahead.
Blake Johnson's an outstanding student. He's a National Honor Society student at Sandwich High School. And has had an excellent season this year.
One of the great things about wrestling is it teaches you to think on your feet. Or come to think of it, on your back or anywhere else you are. You got to think. That's for sure. First period wrapped up here. So Byron and Sandwich, one of these teams, will win the Class A dual meet title. Right now, no score between Johnson and Sloan. But Sloan in a position where he could be thrown, and he is. There should be 2 points.
Johnson ran a nice Mills Series half Nelson, took him to his back. You can see the official counting back points. Just so you're aware, when he counts back points, if he's on his back past 45 degrees for 2 seconds, that's 2-point near fall. If he counts for 5 seconds, it'd be 3-point near fall.
That makes it 6-0, Dan. And so certainly Blake Johnson has come out here very, very strong in the second period. And again, Johnson.
Took him to his back.
2 points awarded.
Another near fall.
They've readjusted. It is now 6-0. I think they were a little bit enthusiastic about the earlier points given. So no, they've readjusted it again. I think 8-0 now. Well, we have 2 different set of scoreboards here. It is 6-0 at the moment. Let's go for the third period action of Double A, and we'll pick up Nick Posolano, and he is in action against Mundo Boyer.
1-point escape that puts them both on their feet now.
And Boyer right now with the lead. Posolano is going to, at the 160-pound weight class here, he needs to generate some offense. And at 35 and counting remaining in this Double-A match. And it's been a good one. Tightly played pretty closely to the vest.
Right. They're both inside position, trying to get. Posolano's got a double overhook, but he thought differently of it.
Yeah, we've got another collar tie-up. We've had a lot of that in this match. Well, Posolano was really hanging on there. Posolano was. Tried for a single leg, didn't get it. Posolano was smart because he realized when he didn't have it, he didn't try to overstretch it and reach for it. That's when you get into trouble.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't have it, you don't have it. And there, with a good charge there by Boyer, takes Posolano off of the mat. At 42 seconds remaining here in the third period. Boy, we've seen some outstanding wrestling here. .39 seconds and counting. If Moline gets this one, this is a big step for the Maroons. They're way behind, but they have to draw the line somewhere.
He's trying to get inside position. Posolano's trying to hook him, try to get a takedown some way.
And Boyer is tying him up.
Posolano's going to have to open up and do something here.
Yeah, time is not on his side. 14 seconds remaining. Right now, Boyer having the better of it. There's a shot to the leg. Did he get it?
Nope.
No, not really. 2 seconds. 1 second.
Yep.
3-2.
This match is all over.
Yeah, and indeed it is, and that's a victory for Mundo Boyer at 160 pounds for the Maroons. Good effort there. And so Moline is able to get 3 more points and closes it to 25-9. But Moline needs to hit a string of them here now. They need Dan to hit a bunch of them.
They need to get something going.
You bet. Third period action in this single A match that we have been watching. Down to a minute remaining. And Sandwich in the driver's seat. Sandwich wins here. We have Sloan and Blake Johnson in action. Paul Sloan and Blake Johnson. Down to 45 seconds. Sloan needs to make something happen here, but right now he's not in a position to do it, is he?
Right, and Johnson's just satisfied to sit there and take the win.
Yeah.
He's not going to put himself in a position where he can get thrown or taken to his back.
These are two well-matched wrestlers, I think. There's been some scoring in this match, and they both wrestled very hard here. But Blake Johnson is a load at 160. He's tough to handle, no question about it. Right now, he is a double scorer.
He's got the cross-body ride in here. He's just basically riding him out here.
And this puts Sloan in a very, very tough spot. Any counters you can think of immediately, Dan?
Sure, he's got to kick his leg back out and get out of the legs there. It's easier said than done.
Oh, I'll say. And so this match comes to an end. And it's another victory for Sandwich at the 160-pound weight class, and they're piling them up now as they are ahead 25-3 on match points. Sandwich is giving a dominating performance here this evening. They have been outstanding. Let's go to AA, where we are seeing Ben King of Moline in action against Ben Bowman. Perfect. King against Bowman. King for Moline and Bowman for New Lenox.
Bowman's got a reverse cradle.
And a 2-0 lead.
And he's trying to turn him to his back, but Moline wrestler is countering him.
This is at 171 pounds.
Oh, he's in trouble now. He got turned.
Big trouble.
There's the fall right there.
Real predicament situation. He gets the fall. The pin. And for Providence New Lenox, that's a home run.
That spells trouble for Moline.
No doubt about it. And that adds to their lead already. Man, oh man. Ben Bowman gets the pin. And you see the match score now at 31-9. Providence New Lenox, a great job of coming right back after a match loss and getting one on their side of the board. We'll be returning to the IHSA Team Wrestling Finals. We return here to Rock Island, and just in time, single A, Andy Osek is victorious. There was a pin just as we return to action, and Corey Peterson was the wrestler for Byron who was pinned. And let's see how it happened, Dan. We'll watch it.
He's just got to...
At this stage, there's not much he can do, is it?
No, he's got a headlock, reverse headlock in there, and that fall just secured the win for Sandwich. Sandwich can't lose the meet now.
How about that? So Sandwich is in the driver's seat now. Definitively, they are the state champions. So we'll switch to AA now, and we will see Nick Mancuso for New Lenox. He will be in action against Chris Powell. There are two Powells for Moline on this team. Nick Mancuso is also a football player, and he is wrestling in the 189-pound class. Boy, what a tremendous performance we have seen by Sandwich tonight. As dominant as Providence New Lenox has been, Sandwich has been even tougher.
Right, Sandwich has been tough all year. If you look at their line scores across the board all year, they've just been pounding on teams all year long.
Well, they're giving Byron a real chewing tonight, I can tell you that. 47 seconds remaining in the first period, 189-pound class. And right now, Nick Mancuso is out to a 4-0 lead. Mancuso, a very, very good contributor to the football program at BNL. Of course, Providence New Lenox, not far away from Joliet area. That's a great wrestling area anyway. There are a lot of good teams
possible fall here.
Let's take a look. Mancuso trying to tilt him. 17 seconds remaining, and Powell's just hanging on for dear life, hoping that 12 seconds will go in a big hurry. He didn't make it, and Mancuso gets the pin.
Another 6 team points.
Well, Providence New Lenox is closing in also on a potential state championship. Wow. Nick Mancuso. It took him less than 1 period.
Mancuso just takes him to his back, gets his hip back, and pressures down and gets the fall.
Minute 48 seconds it took for him to do that in 1 period. What a great performance. Nick Mancuso, every bit as good of a wrestler as he is a football player. You see now the 37-9 score in the match. We return now to single A. Hope you're enjoying our wrestling tonight. We're watching the 189-pounders, Byron and Sandwich. Sandwich has been absolutely dominating tonight. It's Mark Cotter for Byron at 189. Cotter in action. And he's got a tough order here this evening. Minute 48 here in the second period. 2-0 in favor of Sandwich in this match. And it has been a pretty impressive performance to the moment, all across the way by Sandwich. Minute 26 here. Second period of play. Watching the 189-pounders, and now it's a matter for Byron, it's a matter of pride here, as Cotter is in a position, Mark Cotter is in a position where really he's wrestling for his own personal pride as much as anything. The state title has been decided, and now it's a chance to really look at these individual wrestlers and see what they have. So we'll keep an eye on this now. Minute 9 remaining in the second period. 2-0. 189-pound class here. Again, Sandwich on the advantage. .50 seconds remaining in the second period. Mark Cotter for Byron. We'll return to AA, where Providence New Lenox has a chance to, with a victory, could wrap up a state title, and they're bringing on another football player, one of the best running backs in the state, Justin Ruggiero, and he will be going against Stuart Taranis.
Nice double leg going out of bounds
by Ruggiero. Any points scored with that? Yes. Ruggiero, I saw him earlier. I was so impressed with him. There's not an ounce of fat on him. He's just tremendously quick. He's very poised. He's a good thinker out there.
Well, you keep talking about Providence football players. It's just a compliment to their coaching staff that they can share athletes at a small school like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I think there's a very cooperative attitude. You like to have a cooperative attitude among the coaches, and I think part of the IHSA experience is the experience of getting involved in several sports, experiencing what it's like, and the joy of playing various types of events.
Oh, I agree. I think it's important to be involved in a lot of things in high school. High school is a great time in your life.
Well, I'll say, it sure was for me coming up in the state of Illinois.
It's like the joke they used to say, college was the best 9 years of my life. Yes.
That's like the old story about work. That's why I got into broadcasting, Dan. I tried work, and it was the worst morning I ever spent. Minute 44 remaining in the second period. And Ruggiero has piled up a 5-1 lead now. Again, a single leg attack there by Ruggiero. Double leg attack. Couldn't really grab it. And Taranis was able to block it for 5-1. But now Taranis is in a situation where he's got to get something going, and this is not going to be easy. Trailing at 5-1. Ruggiero trying to duck underneath, but Taranis in a position to get some points here. If he can continue, couldn't do it. No points awarded. Ruggiero was able to duck out of trouble here. 56 seconds remaining in the second period of play. There is a good need, an urgent need for the Maroons to start hitting on all cylinders here. Good single leg. That was an outside attack that time. Great single leg takedown by Ruggiero, and he went outside step, beautifully executed.
Right, he did a great job. This last match that Providence had has secured the state championship for them. So they're with their 37-9 lead right now and only 4 matches to go. So they've won the state championship.
They have already won it also. We thought this match might be it, but as it turned out, double checking the scoring, the last one was.
Right.
So that was the Nick Pasolano's match, right, which won the state title.
Moline can only score 24 more points.
There you go. We're down to the end of the second period and a 7-1 lead for Justin Ruggiero here. So even if they struck out the rest of the way and won everything, pinned everybody the whole rest of the way, Providence New Lenox is going to win. So now it's the individual pride of the wrestlers that are on the line. And we're seeing what this is all about. And why not, Dan? Because these guys fought hard to get here. They deserve the opportunity to show their skills. And it's great to see.
Yes, it is. I think it's their last, for some of them, it's their last match they'll ever wrestle, you know.
Yes. Ruggiero
nice
again.
leg.
Beautiful double leg. Works into a single. Couldn't hold the other leg, Dan, so he closed in on that single.
He's trying to drag him back in.
No points awarded. He didn't get control. Minute 24. All right, we'll pick up the single A match here. And we are watching the 189-pound class. Byron and Sandwich. And Sandwich has been so dominant here.
Score right now here, the team score is 31-3. This meet is in essence over with too. Sandwich has won the state championship.
It is the individual pride of the wrestlers now that is on display here in the third period.
Little bloody nose there, they're attending to it.
Yeah.
Coach Lon Garish here, this will be his third state championship in the 90s. He's a Northern Illinois University graduate.
Yes.
He's done a great job for Sandwich.
Well, you're right about that. And the Indians have a very good wrestling tradition that they have built here in the 90s. As you pointed out, they have been tremendous. And they have certainly showed it all. Everything. And Byron, let's not forget about Byron out of Ogle County. The Tigers have had a great year. Their head coach, Bob Baker, has so much to be proud of in terms of what they have accomplished. They've had an outstanding, outstanding year. We have 59 seconds remaining in this match. And let's go back to the AA, where we have Ruggiero and Chirones in action. And here we go right back with Ruggiero. What is he trying to do here, Dan?
He's trying to do a reverse cradle. He's using his head as a fulcrum, and he's trying to pull the head and the leg together. He's not able to do it.
Okay, so he gave up on that. Instead, he'll just
run a power half.
Right him. Yep. And we are down to the end of it. Ruggiero wins it by a score of 9-1. He got 2 more points in there, Dan, and that puts some more points on the board for Providence New Lenox. And for Ruggiero, it has to be a great, great moment for him. If I remember correctly, he's only junior.
Keith Healy, the coach, the head coach, he's excited, as he should be. It'll be his third state championship.
And you know what? Ruggiero has had 3 good matches today. It's hard to believe with the effort we're seeing here that these wrestlers have all wrestled 3 times today, and all under pressure, not normal dual meet. Yeah. This is for everything.
Yes, it's a grueling day.
It's a grueling day, emotionally as well as physically.
These young men will sleep well tonight.
But right now, Sandwich and Providence New Lenox will sleep just a little bit better. But everybody can be proud of what they've accomplished. We're down to the closing minutes, seconds here. 6-0 in favor of Byron. And so they win that match at the 215-pound level. And that is a good victory for Byron. Came a little bit late, but they did get the victory. And for Providence New Lenox, it has been a great night. Take a look as he gives a good hug to Justin Ruggiero. All right, we will return to AA action here. For Providence New Lenox, we're going to see Mike Sala he will be in action against Moline's Chris Davies. Chris Davies and Mike Sala. This is in the 270-pound match. Sala had a tough match against Maine West. He lost it earlier in the day. He's back here now, and he would like to add a little exclamation point to the performance of Providence New Lenox, which has been just outstanding. The Celtics have been incredible here. 2-0 right now in favor of Davies. Davies faked as if he was going to let him up there, Dan. And he put his hands on him like, I'm going to let you up. And then the moment he started to make his move, he went right after it. He didn't let him up.
At the heavier weights, they do that sometimes. It's easier to get a running start on him and knock him down.
There you go. Well, he did a pretty good job there. And now Davies trying to put the power to him. A little bit of a different style here, Dan, you were mentioning earlier. Now we're seeing these big guys. We're not going to see as many leg attacks.
Well, you'll see some. You'll see a lot more upper body hooks, and you'll see a lot of power.
Throws.
Some throws.
These guys have the strength to do it. Of course, you're throwing an awful lot of weight around, too, at the same time.
That's true. That's a lot of weight to pick up.
That sure is. It's all in the hips, right, Dan?
Yes.
Get those hips under there. Davies in the position of disadvantage beginning the second period. Sits out. Good technique there. Couldn't get all the way out. Not trying to reverse it. Got it.
Oh, possible fall.
And he's got Sala in a very, very tough position. Boy, give Davies a lot of credit right from that sit out. Very effective.
You can see the shoulder blade of the Providence wrestler. It's not down on the mat yet.
Yep. Sala's in a tough way, and he's got a long way to go before he'll have a chance to redeem himself. He's already trailing 4-0.
The official's right on it, looking for the fall.
Darn close. Doesn't have it yet.
Sometimes those officials get so close they get kicked. Fall.
Got it. You're right, Dan. You called it. You called it. And so Chris Davies gets the victory over Mickey Sala in the 275-pound weight class.
Little pride for Moline there.
Yep.
You can see the official looking, turns away and slaps the mat.
Yep. Well, he really had it. He had it really sunk in there deep. There's no doubt. It's hard to get out of that. We will see some single A action now here, where Sandwich on their way to a state title. Sandwich and Byron, and right now, Byron. We see Jake Dalton and Ethan Cappy in action. Dalton and Cappy. And this is at 215 pounds. Or excuse me, we have Matt Coley and Matt Coley against Josh Pressman, I believe it is. Yep. So right now a 7-0 lead for Sandwich here. And Coley finds himself in a tough spot. Pressman riding him. When you're in a position like this, a lot of people might look at this and say, hey, you're not going to get anything done from this position. But he is trying to get something done from that position. What is it that he's trying to set up there?
He's trying to push the head underneath so he can force his head down and his shoulders over to force some near fall points. And he uses his legs as well also. And it can score some points.
Yes. One thing I'm so impressed with that comes across to me is the poise of these wrestlers. I think poise is one of the things that really comes from participation.
Double leg takedown to half Nelson.
And a beauty, 9-0 now.
Nicely done. You see how he brings him back on the mat? The Byron wrestler's trying to get off. He can't score back points when his back is exposed off the mat. That's why he's trying to keep him on the mat.
I see.
Very nicely done.
So Joel Pressman there, able to do a great job. Now ahead 11-0. He got 2 more points. Minute 25 in the third period here. And a very dominating performance for Sandwich, as from a team standpoint. They have been absolutely sensational. The Indians have just had too much for the Tigers here tonight. And it's been a long day. Very, very long day for all of these teams, really. But, of course, all of them had hoped, all of the 16 teams that came here all hoped that they would be able to get to this match. We saw an awful lot of good matches earlier in the day, Dan, where they didn't have a chance to get here. We saw some great wrestlers who their teams didn't have sufficient strength to get here, but we saw some great individual performances, and they should be honored.
Oh, I think they've done a great job. You look at Providence and Sandwich have done an excellent job, and they're going to come out great champions. But don't forget Moline and Byron. Both of them came through ranked teams that were supposed to beat them, and they won and got to the championship.
You've got to give them a lot of credit. It is not easy to get here. 43 seconds left in this period. And Cressman has certainly had good control of this match. Coley. Cressman's got a hold of that left leg. That's why he's able to lean forward like that. Coley is just hanging on.
It's a stalemate call by the official. They want to see some more action.
Yep. So Coley would like to, at least for a morale booster, he'd like to get a good escape here, at least get a point if he can. Couldn't do it.
You can see he starts with that freestyle start. He came down on the Byron wrestler trying to get a reverse cradle.
Yeah, Coley's looking a little bit tired. Every one of these wrestlers has a right to look a little bit tired. There's been a lot of emotion and a lot of physical effort here. The fans are standing as this match comes to an end, Dan. They're going to give them a standing ovation for that effort. Outstanding.
Great job, great job. You can see Sandwich has a lot of people here. Their teammates are on their feet.
Another victory, 35-6 in favor of Sandwich, and Joe Cressman wins. Very, very good idea. Hey, I'll tell you where's a great place to go for information, and you can take it from me because I go there, the IHSA website, which is called IHSA, IHSA.org. They have information on all 31 of the events that the IHSA covers. You can just click on the one you want, and it'll come right up for you. It is the official school team and athlete log on the official IHSA website, and it is IHSA.org. One of the best websites in the country.
Yes, it is.
Right now for high school. It is outstanding. It's really a pacemaker, and other high school organizations all over the country really admire that website. I can tell you because I've talked with people up in Wisconsin. They think that the IHSA is doing a great job with it.
Oh, it is great. As an athletic administrator, I take things off that website all the time. I get information on sites and places for meetings.
Well, now, as we've gone through 275, we've gone down to the 103-pound class. This is the change that was made a couple of years ago, Dan, when they changed from just starting from the lowest class and going to the top. And so now they're at 103 pounds. 4-0 lead for the Providence New Lenox wrestler against Moline. There was looked like a brief injury timeout then, but they're back at it.
Yes, it looks like he's okay.
Wayne Weems is the wrestler for Moline, and Kevin Kennedy against him for New Lenox.
Kennedy's got a power half in there. Got the legs in. Oh, he lost it.
8 seconds, a power half. That even sounds like it hurts.
A cradle doesn't hurt. Power half does.
All right, we'll go ahead to single A action here. We'll look at a possible pin. And just as we get there, the pin takes place. At 275 pounds, the Sandwich wrestler gets a big, big pin. Is it Adam Stark? 275. It is at 33 seconds of the first period.
He's on top. He's pressuring him down. You see the official looking closely, looking for both shoulder blades to be down. Takes another look. And there's the fall.
So there you go. And just a little bit more of an exclamation point on Sandwich's tremendous performance. Take a look at that score, 41-6. And that means that Sandwich has done a great job top to bottom.
That was Chris Quinn for Sandwich.
And he got the fall. Big Chris Quinn wrestling at 275. Wayne Weems and Kevin Kennedy at 103 pounds in the AA.
Kevin Kennedy's a leading 4-1 now.
Yeah. Well, you want to watch quickness. If you're recording this on your VCR, no, they're not running at a double speed. It's just these guys are that fast.
That's right. I'm a little biased to the little guys myself.
Well, I can understand that. I can understand. I'm kind of biased, too, for the little guys. Better believe it.
Well, this is what another point that I think is great about wrestling. You got little 103-pound wrestlers that can compete at the varsity level all the way to 275 pounds. Anybody, any size can wrestle.
And you know what's interesting, too, Dan, is some of the most spectacular wrestling that you'll see will be from the lighter classes because they have that element of quickness and can execute some of the most complicated and challenging moves.
That's true.
So you'll see a lot of good technique, great technique at this level. Kennedy and Weems.
Now the score is 5-4.
Got to give Weems credit. He's come back strong here. Take a look at that score. This is the match as it stands right now. Team 41-15 in favor of Providence over the Maroons of Moline. And a large contingent here off the mat.
Headlock attempt by Weems.
Approaching the end of the second period. The fans are coming to their feet here. And we will return now to the single A where we had another pin. And they're pinning everything. If it's moving, Sandwich is pinning it. Another pin for Sandwich at 112 pounds. Man.
Okay, he reaches under, grabs the elbow, pulls him over to his back. He hooked his leg so that he can't roll all the way through, forcing his back down.
Boy, what beautiful ground level photography right there. You could see what great photography. You could actually see the move right at ground level exactly as it was made. It's almost as if you're thinking right along with him.
Did a great job.
A great job. We'll go back, we'll return to AA here. And now we're moving 112 pounds. Once again, this is a new set of wrestlers as Kennedy and Weems finished up their match.
Matt Kaluka.
Kaluka is on...
and Gibbs. David Gibbs from Moline. Matt Kaluka from Providence. Kaluka's got Gibbs on his back. Took him straight down, scored a 5-point takedown.
Wow.
5-0 right off the bat.
Kaluka.
You were talking about quickness. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Providence really runs this Mills series here. You see, Kaluka's running that Mills series, that Half Nelson series.
Yes.
They do a great job with it.
And I'll bet you right now, Gibbs feels as if he's being ground up in the mill, as a matter of fact. I know that's not what you're referring to.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Every pun intended. Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you, Providence New Lenox is not conceding a single thing. That's a Half Nelson. I recognize that one myself.
That's that Mills again.
Well, and David Gibbs is thinking, now, how do I get out of this? There's some sideline over there. But I'll tell you what, Kukala won't let him over.
Moline wrestler trying to get out of bounds so he could use that as a counter to the Mills and get a new start in the middle.
Well, let's see if Gibbs tries to stand up out of this. Indeed, he does, but hard to do it when one of your ankles is
yeah, he did a waist pick there. Excuse me, an ankle pick, and picked it up and drove him down.
It's not easy to stand up when somebody's tying up your ankle, that's for sure. Now we're right about back where we were before here.
Right.
And the official says, I'll tell you what, I'd like a clean start on this one. Our score remains 5-0. And we have 25 seconds remaining.
A little blood action there.
May have been.
A bloody nose.
And we will go ahead and return to single A competition here. We are beginning the second period. And And again, Sandwich, and this is in the 112-pound weight class. Jake Dalton and Ramon Gonzalez. Dalton for Byron, and Ramon Gonzalez in action for Sandwich, and Gonzalez with a 6-0 lead at the moment.
He's riding the wrist there. Now he's going to try to grab the wrist between his legs there so he can drive him up. Going to do a tilt, pull him back towards him.
There he goes. Dalton is gamely trying to sit out, trying to get to a position where he can get his base back.
Well, he's having trouble because he can't free his wrist on the bottom there.
Well, we've seen some good technical wrestling. If you enjoy watching wrestlers who are very fluid in their moves, we talk about the phrase often referred to as chain wrestling, the ability to go from move to move to move, as it seems like almost a seamless entity. We've seen a lot of that here.
Oh, we have. They do a nice job of sequence wrestling.
Very accomplished. 51 seconds remaining, second period. 6-0 with Gonzalez clearly in control here, and he's trying to put the power to him. And they'll break this up. That means that Dalton will start underneath. Gonzalez on top. 41 seconds. Let's see if he'll let him out or not. Nope.
Dan Ferranosi, the official, starts him. And there he goes back to the wrist series.
5 seconds remaining
in the second period.
You're right about that. Gonzalez and Dalton. Dalton, tough to generate offense from the position Dalton is in right now, and he can't get out of it.
He can't seem to free those wrists.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. And that is the end of the second period. So for Gonzalez, it is a commanding performance at 112. He's looked every bit of a solid wrestler here. And Gonzalez.
Switch.
Yeah, and that time another point will be scored there. 2 points. Smith.
Oh, he's got a half Nelson on him now. He's in trouble.
Gonzalez. There you got it, the pin. At 1:47 of the third period, as he pins Jake Dalton.
Makes the team score 53-6 with it.
Oh, man. And now Sandwich is a runaway freight train. There's nothing that's going to stop him. Holy mackerel.
It was a great half Nelson. He drives him over just like a snowplow would.
Boy, I'll say.
They call the fall.
He drove all the way through. And with that, both our A and AA finals come to a conclusion, Dan. It's been a great night. Sandwich has won the title at single A. Providence New Lenox has won at AA. Both the Celtics and the Indians will have an awful lot to be proud of here. A lot of handshaking, the great sportsmanship that we talk about being a very important theme of the IHSA here in Illinois. Attitude, that's what it's all about. And if you dig into the website, you'll find out all about attitude, because it's very firmly displayed there. As we have a great show of sportsmanship. These were two dominating performances, really. Byron could do very little with the great Sandwich wrestlers in Moline, which had worked so hard to get to the finals. Found out that Providence New Lenox was every bit as serious about defending its state title. And what's amazing is they did it, Dan, 2 men down, and yet they didn't look as if they needed those men. It shows a great depth that they have.
They've done a great job.
Unbelievable performance here. And for Sandwich, their head coach, Lon Garish, has an awful lot to be proud of. For Providence New Lenox, their head coach, Keith Healy, will feel very, very good about what his team has been able to do. And I'll tell you, they've got some we saw some other, they have so much depth that there were several very good wrestlers who did not even wrestle tonight as far as Providence New Lenox was concerned. Let's take a look, Dan, let's go back and take a look at the last part of the match.
There's that half Nelson series again that Providence has run so well.
And that was the pin that was awarded there. And with that, the match came to a conclusion. That was at 112 pounds. We started at 119 and wrapped all the way back to 112.
Now you see the Providence wrestlers in a circle there.
Enjoying the moment. Their head coach, Keith Healy, very, very proud. It's got to be a great moment for him. Of course, it's a great moment to get there the first time, come back and to do it again for Keith Healy. Has to be terrific. A lot of oneness, a lot of harmony with this group. They're a tight-knit group, you can see that. And Providence, Class AA, they win the championship. And in the meantime, the same type of scenario being played out for Sandwich. Their head coach, Ron Garris.
Sandwich fans are going crazy over here. They've got a great following.
Well, they are. I'll tell you one thing. Both Byron and Moline had to work so hard to get to the finals. And this is something we mentioned right from the top of the telecast, Dan. They both these schools expended a lot of energy to make it to the finals. They're both great wrestling programs. They had to work very, very hard. And I think there may have been some spots, maybe in isolated matches, where it showed with a couple of the wrestlers not at the energy level that they might normally be.
Oh, I think it wears on you going through, like you said, a high-intensity day. 3 tough matches like this, you know, where you've got good wrestlers every single time, every single match.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it does wear on you. But on the other hand, they're in the finals, and they got second, or they got first, or they got third or fourth, and they've done well.
That's good. You betcha. Coming back now, Dan and I will be back to bring you the awards ceremony, so stay tuned as we'll watch it, take part in the celebrations right here from Rock Island. Welcome back here to Rock Island, and a lot of fans have stayed around here to watch the presentation of the awards. This is always a great moment here in the IHSA. They do a great job with it. Bill Hazen back here, and joined once again by Dan Cliff. And we, Dan, to the moment we're going to be joining these as some of the wrestlers will be coming up and getting their awards, and a lot of people are being honored here. A lot of people have stayed around, too, to honor them, and that's a really great thing. I tell you, I was awfully impressed with what I saw here today. A lot of competition. We were here for the semifinals. I know you were here bright and early in the morning. You love it. And but we saw a lot of good wrestling here, and it was great to see it once again this year.
There was a lot of great wrestling. As you can see, the Sandwich wrestlers there, they're all happy. Won a state championship. Sandwich and Providence worked very hard all year long, and that's what this is all about. You hard work all year long. It culminates in a great feeling of a championship.
You bet. Let's go and take a look at the Pepsi moment of the meet, Dan, and give us a description. This came in a match, 171 pounds, between Ben Bowman and Ben King.
Ben Bowman on top from Providence in the green singlet is got a reverse cradle on Ben King of Moline, and he's trying to turn him over. And Ben King will get off his back here, trying to fight off the fall. But as you talked about the little things, a little thing that turned over Ben King was just that reverse cradle, and he swept the ankle through with his right knee, and he'll turn him to his back for the fall, as you'll see in a second here. His right knee will come over, sweep the ankle up, and that will help him elevate the hips and drive him to his back.
There it is right there. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Outstanding Pepsi moment.
Man, oh man. And that showed, Ben Bowman showed right there a lot of determination to just keep working it and working it until he found the right seam.
You see the official call the fall.
Well, at this time for Fox Sports Chicago, we would like to thank H. David Fry and Marty Hickman at the Illinois High School Association and Kevin Weblow and his staff at Augustana College for their help with tonight's championship event. For Dan Cliff, Bill Hazen saying so long from the Carver Center at Augustana College. And our 1999 state dual meet champions, Sandwich, defeating Byron. That was in Class A. And then in Class AA, PNL in a big victory over Moline. So Providence Newlands, of course, is PNL for short, as the locals well know. Hope you've enjoyed our telecast. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport Television. Good night.